Hey there guys, welcome to Shock&Awe Gaming. This is SilentProtagonist, and I am really excited to be doing this series finally. We've brought you a number of videos already from a number of other series that we're doing. But this is kind of the series that really inspired me to kind of kick off this channel. So I'm really glad to actually have a chance to finally do it. This is going to be a Pokemon Nuzlocke of Ruby version. We are going to go ahead and jump into here, right into a new game. But before we really get started, I want to kind of go over what makes a Pokemon Nuzlocke run a little bit different than a normal playthrough of the any game in the Pokemon franchise. Looks like the construction has started up again. I'm gonna close all the windows and that should be taken care of. Alright, you play a Pokemon Nuzlocke under a set of rules, and I will slowly tap my way through this as we do this. I'll give you guys a chance to read everything if you want to. Once the game starts up, I'm not really going to narrate the speech, or anything, that's stupid. It's on the screen. You can read it. So just go ahead, read along. I'll just kind of move ahead as I read all the text. If you miss anything, just go ahead and pause the game. But the rules of a Nuzlocke. The Nuzlocke has 5 core rules. Any Pokemon that faints is considered dead and must be released. Secondly, the player may only catch the first Pokemon encountered in each area. If the first Pokemon encountered faints or flees, there are no second chances. If the first encounter in the area is a doubles battle in Darkgrass, if the game you're playing includes that, the player may choose which of the 2 Pokemon they would like to catch. We actually have to pay attention here for a second. You know what, we're actually gonna be lame. No one else in the Pokemon universe has, lowercase letters, I don't think. Alright, unfortunately we don't have a rival to name in this one. But that would be a lot of fun. Until the later generations when they started putting a profanity filter check into the naming system. Alright, speaking of naming, the 3rd rule of a Nuzlocke. Players must nickname all of their Pokemon for the sake of forming a stronger emotional bond. Just to make it that much more devastating when that Pokemon inevitably dies and is ripped away from you forever. Number 4. And yes, I don't know why, but I'm riding in the back of a moving truck with no safety harness. It's the Pokemon World's version of extreme sports. At least I assume so. A blackout or whiteout, depending on the game you're playing, is a game over. Even if you have Pokemon left in your PC that you could go withdraw, that is a game over. And finally, the player may not use the daycare to breed or level up Pokemon. In addition, there are a number of different clauses that you can use. They make the game a little bit easier, a little bit more challenging, add in a bit of quality of life, kind of the things discovered after the first couple of Nuzlocke runs had really ever been done. So we have a number of different ones. I have to go set the clock. Alright, before I set the clock, I'm going to finish going over these rules here. So do forgive the pause on a really boring screen. The opening clause is the first clause I'm going to be using for this playthrough. I'm not officially enforcing any other rules until I already have Pokeballs and can catch Pokemon. That is simply quality of life. The ID clause. My starter Pokemon, sorry, is based on the last number of my trainer ID. So if the last number is a 1 through 3, I start with the grass type. 4 through 6, I start with fire. 7 through 9, I start with water. And 0, I start with any one of my choice. And if that happens to be the case, I'll figure that out when I go ahead and check my player card before going out to meet the professor on the route. Third additional rule I will be using is the Species and Dupes clause. The trainer can keep fighting Pokemon in the area until one is encountered that has not been caught yet, which then immediately counts as my first encounter on the route. An extension of that, I'm using the Family clause. So I can keep fighting Pokemon in an area without triggering my first encounter if the Pokemon I'm encountering, while not having been caught, belong to an evolution tree that I already own. One side effect of this is that I can't, unless I have, I guess I can't. I can't own both of the butterfly Pokemon, so in this version there's the Beautifly Dustox. In earlier versions it would be Beedrill and Butterfree. I was blanking on the name there for a second. Beedrill and Butterfree. Since they both start with the same starter Pokemon, I wouldn't be able to have both of them on my team, because I wouldn't be able to catch. Okay, no, I guess it is just the Beautifly Dustox, because I'm being dumb and thinking that Caterpie and Weedle are the same Pokemon. So yeah, it is just, in this game, I can't own both Beautifly Dustox, because they do start from the same base Pokemon. I'm sure there are others out there. I'm not going to waste any more time trying to think of them right now. I will also be using a clause that's not really used a whole lot, but it's known as the Miracle Clause. Occasionally, when you release a Pokemon, I guess they feel bad about being released. Personal fighting slaves forever. But they come back and will return to your party. In this playthrough, if that occurs, I'm not sure if it can in this version, but that's considered a miracle. Pokemon comes back to life, you can continue using it as normal. Next, I'm also going to be using the Item Clause. I can't use any form of Repel or Revival item. These items must immediately be thrown out of my backpack or sold. I'm going to opt for selling them because I want the gold for more healing items, but if you want a harder playthrough, you can also opt to simply throw them out like they never existed in the first place. Mentioning of Repel, that leads me to the Fleeing Clause. I'm not allowed to run away from wild Pokemon for this playthrough. This is purely a challenge add-on. Makes it much harder to go through a lot of the larger dungeons that have bosses at the end, of which there are quite a few in this game. I can't run away from any wild Pokemon, have to fight everyone. My Pokemon will be a higher level by the end of the game. If I reach the end of the game in this playthrough, I should be able to clear through the Elite Four with minimal training at the end. But conversely, I could also just have two dudes get gimped. So that's always something I'm going to have to keep my eye on. I'm going to have to be very careful when going into any of the higher difficulty dungeons. And finally, the Legends Clause. I cannot in any way, shape, or form catch or use legendary Pokemon. All legendary Pokemon must die for the benefit of my team and the greater good. So those are all of the rules I'm going to be using, so without further ado, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to set this clock. Whoops, a little bit far there. I'm just incapable of setting the time on a clock. There we go. 6 PM is going to be our time for this game. Since the clock is broken, as you saw, it will be 6 PM forever. Right, and by on my desk, I'm assuming you mean in my item storage PC and the potion that's in there every time I play this game. Wow, it's gonna be really annoying every time someone says my name twice in a row in this game. Yeah, in this generation, your father is Norman, the gym leader. He uses normal type Pokemon. I'm really hoping I get a fighting type Pokemon, or he's gonna be a huge pain. And this run could very easily end there. Depending on my starter Pokemon, there are going to be some early gym leaders that are going to prove to be a challenge. The first time I played this game, I actually used Mudkip, so I'm kinda hoping that for my first Nuzlocke, I can do the same thing. After that, I kinda realized, hey, the easiest one at the end of the game is just using Blaziken, the evolved form of Torchic, Combusken. That would be useful for the end, but they would have to live there first, and the first gym is a rock, so they probably wouldn't. That would actually be a huge pain unless I did a bunch of grinding and evolved the Torchic into a Combusken, giving it the fighting type and double kick. Alright, apparently that closed it. Last number is a 1. That is the grass type. Well, this sucks. Is this Trico into Grubile into Sceptile, I think? I don't know, I never started with the grass type in this generation. Oh shit, I have to go meet this person first. Alright, well, before we can go get our first Pokemon, we need to meet this person up here. And this person is May, I believe. It's weird, you don't really have a rival in this game, which kind of makes the whole thing a little bit anticlimactic at the end. You kind of just meet the champion along the way. But I do like how the rival is more of a supporting friend than a huge dick like in the first 2 generations, which is why I will just religiously abuse the name your rival feature in both of those generations. Those 2 rivals, normal names being Gary and Line of Question Marks. Someone has to go help. Well, really, it could be anyone since he's just gonna give you a Pokemon to fight with, but sure, why not? Shit. Do not be surprised if you see this dude just get perma-benched later. I don't have any naming convention to go on. I'll have to think of something while I play. Awesome, we managed to win a scripted auto-win fight. Unless you're really bad. You would jumped. Wow. You're a horrible researcher. Alright, I guess we're just not going to use a naming convention, because I don't want to waste time looking for one to use, and I can't think of one off the top of my head. So we'll just name these guys whatever comes to mind. I got this dude. Cool. You're gonna be Dynamo. Permanently benched Trico. That I really didn't want to start with, but kinda had to by the rules I set myself. It'll make the first gym easier. Whatever. The third gym could be a huge pain depending on what I manage to find as my to-catch Pokemon. Now, I do not have Pokeballs yet, so we are still in the midst of the opening clause. Guess I could have just left this dude named Trico, but that'd be kinda lame. Alright, we're not finding anything. Go, Dynamo! Hound. And again. Dude, just kill it! I mean, do you literally just hit it once and then stop attacking because I didn't tell you to just repeatedly bash on it? Potion, not a Pokeball. So we are still under the opening clause, which I already knew we would be. We don't get them until we go back after fighting May. Which, incidentally, I am going to do my normal training routine for. I do like to train up my starter a little bit in any game I can. So we are just gonna try to get to solid level 8 to 10 range. Oh my gosh. Well, even though we're not technically engaged in the rules yet, we're gonna try to avoid having him die as much as possible. We're gonna try to follow the spirit of the rules as much as we can. That is kind of the point of this playthrough. So we have to burn a potion a little bit early, you know, so be it. Maybe we should have gone to the Pokemon Center. Maybe I totally ignored the fact that he just crit me. I wasn't really paying attention, but we'll see. If we do get low, we will just be going to the Pokemon Centers. I'm not doing any of those special rules that kind of restrict the use of Pokemon Centers, or of, like, you can't use the Pokemon Centers and only can use potions, or can't use any potions and can only use the Pokemon Center. I'm not really going to be worrying about any of those rules. But if you're looking for a more challenging playthrough, you can definitely take a look at those. Though I haven't really seen anyone do a playthrough with one of those as a condition. So maybe a later version. Maybe I'll end up doing that. Let me know what you think in the comments below, guys, about that. Do you think my next Nuzlocke version should either restrict me to only using Pokemon Centers or only using potions? Just let me know what you think, and I think I'll keep a tally running through the course of this playthrough through the video series, and I'll tally it up at the end, and I'll kind of announce what the results were at the very end here. Once we start up that next playthrough, I will let you guys know which side won the debate. Who had more votes cast for it? A Zigzagoon. We can just pound right now. One thing I need to do is I need to kind of pay attention, especially at the beginning, to what my stronger stat is. I didn't really take a look at what Dynamo was best at. So yeah, I honestly don't know if using Pound or Absorb will do more damage, so I do want to go check that out next time I level up. I will see if I have a stronger special or normal attack. Unfortunately, this generation is the generation right before the switch for how normal and how physical and special attacks worked. So it is based off of their element for this game. I believe that continues through Fire Red and Leaf Green, which may very well be the next playthrough I do. I've watched a lot of Fire Red and Leaf Green Nuzlockes. All of them tragically have ended in a successful playthrough. And have all ended after the first Elite Four run. And guys, that's just not the end of the game. There are many more things that you need to do in a Fire Red or Leaf Green Nuzlocke playthrough. Yes, you beat the Elite Four, but you didn't beat the game. The Elite Four closes after the first full completion in Fire Red Leaf Green. Alright, let's take a look here real quick. Special attack, so we'll keep using Absorb. That is going to be the better option. But, in Fire Red and Leaf Green, after you beat the Elite Four, they close. You can't fight them again, farm money, experience, like you did in, kinda Red and Blue. It actually opens up a full series of quests and missions on a place called the Sevi Islands that's added in for the game. Which is really the end of the game. That's what your goal is. You need to clear through the Sevi Islands. And then you end up reopening the Elite Four. The Sevi Islands include all of the second-gen Pokemon that you couldn't find anywhere in the grass. for the rest of the playthrough. They're all on the islands. So you can go find them there. The Elite Four reopen with both Gen 1 and Gen 2 Pokemon in their team, and at a much higher level. And then following which you can go to the fight with Red, I believe, as well as I think that game also includes the other lands gym leaders. I believe it includes the first gen map and gym leaders as well, but I'm not positive. I don't remember whether or not it includes that, so I guess that'll be something to check out over the course of the game. I think that is going to be what the second Nuzlocke series on this channel is going to be. And now we are kind of just mindlessly having Dynamo absorb everything here. Now, I know in terms of actual Nuzlocke material, Ruby, Sapphire, they're kinda low compared to other generations. They also kind of are... It almost depends on who I end up getting. They can be easier or harder than every other generation. If we get the wrong Pokemon to show up first when we have Pokeballs, or we may very well wipe the third gym. It's a huge possibility. The electric gym in this game is really, really difficult. Same thing, we could wipe the fourth or the fifth gym. Fire, normal. If we don't have a fighting, if we don't have a water of some kind, I might end up using an early town catch. On just like a bad rod, like the worst rod in the game, the old rod I think it's called. I haven't played Pokemon in a few years now. Okay. There's good special defense, it seems like, which is nice. It's one saving grace. But I might just try to catch a Magikarp or something, make it a Gyarados if that's in this game. I don't remember. I think it is. Regardless of what it is, having something water for that fourth gym will be amazing. If I catch... Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I've never used one of them before, but if I catch a Tentacool, if they're in this, I don't remember. I don't remember the whole Pokedex, guys. Despite this being the game that I played the absolute most of, both competitively and just normally. Ninjask Baton Pass team for the win in this generation, but if I can catch a Tentacool, if they're in this, and I can turn into a Tentacruel by that fourth gym, that's just a tank! I might be able to just cruise through that gym. Conversely, I do need a fighting type. I'd really like a Makuhita from the tunnel. But if we're really, really unlucky, and the Pokemon gods just despise us, we might end up getting stuck with a Zubat. But I really want something... I'm gonna guess Wing Attack, but I have to train that thing so hard in that tunnel. Now one thing is, I've played this game for years, Pokemon Ruby. I played it competitively, I played it normally, I played it just for Pokedex completion, just for everything under the sun. This is the generation that, while there are specific details, like exactly who is featured in this game and whatnot, that I don't remember, or what level specific moves are learned at, I don't remember. What's my health? Okay, it's full, that's cool. I've only kind of just been pressing A after moving to absorb. Because this is just a mindless grind at this point. But yeah, I played this game the most out of any of them. I still have my Pokemon Ruby cartridge. I still have my Pokemon Sapphire cartridge. All of the Pokemon are now on Diamond and Pearl. I got the first Black and White, and I was looking at getting Black and White too. By the time X and Y came out, X and Y absolutely destroyed any desire I had to continue playing Pokemon. They totally changed a ton of the core mechanical systems. It was no longer the game I grew up on, having started the day Fire Red, or not Fire, oh, the day Red and Blue came out. I was playing Pokemon, both versions. I played Yellow, I played Gold, Silver, Crystal, Ruby, Sapphire. Emerald was really the first game I skipped. Then I played both Diamond and Pearl. Black and White. I never ended up getting Black and White 2. My enthusiasm for where the franchise was going died a little bit at X and Y, with a lot of the announcements. So I never really continued on from there. Do I regret it? Not really. I'd have to have bought a new system for it anyways, which literally some of the only games I own for some of these systems are one or two very specific tactical turn-based strategy games, specifically things like Fire Emblems, but just those and Pokemon, and it wasn't worth spending the money on another system for Pokemon. Especially at the time, there was no Fire Emblem or anything that I was really interested in. It was just going to be a waste of money, and I never ended up doing it. Now I think we are just going to go till we hit level 10 and beat May, and we're going to head back to town, get our Pokeballs, and I think we're going to call it for today. But we still have a couple levels to go, so I think I'll discuss a couple of the things I'm going to be doing in the future. One of those things that I'm going to be doing is I am going to be doing a Black and White 2 playthrough. Now you might say, you just said you never bought the game. I never bought the game. I'm going to be doing a Volt White Blaze Black 2 playthrough. I believe specifically I have Blaze Black, but it might be Volt White, so don't hold me to it. It's either going to be the third Nuzlocke series I do, or I will be releasing it in conjunction with Fire Red Leaf Green. I mean, for everything, it adds in every single Pokemon to ever be featured in the franchise somewhere into the wild. And that, in and of itself, is enough to make me want to do a Nuzlocke of it. Now, I might very well, you might not see it on the screen, I may very well be playing this through, with the, guide, the strategy guide included. Not really a strategy guide in terms of like what's good or what you want to catch or what, but just it gives you a list of what all the ability changes to Pokemon have been, because they've had their primary, secondary abilities altered by the creator of this ROM mod. You know, they all have different moves they can learn, or some moves have been switched in levels. So that's something I'm going to want to look at. I'm also want to look at where they all appear. What exactly can I catch in every route? And then, it takes place on the same map as Black and White. So, I at least am familiar with what order I'm going to be fighting gyms in. I have some idea of what's going to happen. But for every gym leader, for every Elite Four member, for every single, you know, trainer in the game, they have had their entire team redone by this mod's creator. They've been, for the most part, increased in level and increased in diversity, and Pokemon from different generations that didn't normally appear have been included in their teams, which is a really cool addition, I feel. It makes the game a challenge. So I'm going to be going into it blind. That's kind of my intention. I've played Fire Red, Leaf Green, though I don't remember specifics. I've played Ruby Sapphire, though I don't remember specifics. I've never played Blaze Black, Volt White 2. So that is something that I really want to do. It could be a really quick run. But kinda, unless I clear all 8 gyms, I think I'll keep the series going. I'll just restart it. I mean, I'll figure it out when I kind of take a look at how it balances out. But until I kind of figure out how to play, I'll record everything. Everything will be released on the channel. You'll be able to follow along with me as I kind of explore this game and figure out what the best way to play it Nuzlocke style is. But I'm not going to really have any idea what to plan at the beginning. So we may end up having a few game overs over the course of this. If I reach the Elite Four, if I reach, Victory Road Elite Four territory, I'm gonna call it there. That has been a successful, lengthy run. We might not have beaten the game, but I mean, that happens sometimes in these types of playthroughs. One random crit can kill a Pokemon. Your core member can die in a heartbeat with a badly timed crit if you're not careful. So it's always something we're going to be on the lookout for here. Alright. Almost there. Almost to level 10. I'm kind of getting bored of grinding. I'm sure you guys are bored of watching me grind. So I think this is going to be the last fight. It might even be the last one we need. We'll probably hit level 10 after we beat May, if we don't right here. So we're just gonna go do that right away after this fight is done. Dynamo is just kind of leveling up here. I mean, he's gonna be our Pokemon to go to for the first gym. I do want to kind of catch a flying type or something for the second gym, though. I mean, bring him to the second gym. It's not bad, but it's not great. I want something that's a little bit stronger against the fighting type that we're going to be up against in the second gym here. Okay, he didn't level up, but we will level up after this fight. Your Pokemon is still level 5. What are you going to do? I do want to turn this up a little bit, so forgive me if you don't hear me saying anything. I want to kind of hear what this rival music is for this game, and give you guys a chance to hear it here. Alright, I'm gonna give it a little bit longer to play here for maybe 5-10 more seconds, before I finish, this, Torchic, yeah. This Torchic off. It was so weak I didn't even need to look at it. Alright, that's enough. Torchic, time to die. I'm gonna turn this back down to make sure you guys can hear me. I do have my speakers on, so I'm not sure. I'm hoping that's not overriding my voice a little bit. Kind of trying to talk a little bit closer to the microphone for this, just in case. There we are, level 10. No, I just have a Pokemon that's now twice the level of yours. No skill included. Yeah, but the Pokemon aren't our friends. They're our combat slaves and our source of income. Specifically our income by beating up other people's combat slaves and sources of income and stealing all of their money. Yes, the Pokemon world is full of ethics, just not necessarily good ones. Really? Can't you, like, not get a Pokemon until you're 10? I've always wondered how I fight all these toddlers that have Pokemon, but my character, for whatever reason, is not allowed to have a Pokemon until he is 10 years old. That sounds like a horrific waste of time. Hasn't this thing been filled in already like a dozen times over? Why are you still giving these out to people to record data? Why don't you just call it an encyclopedia full of information? Did we get our Pokeballs? I think we should have. Wasn't really paying attention at the. Yes, we did. Alright, we're gonna walk right up to the very edge. Oh, what's this? Like I said, it's gonna be really annoying every time someone says my character's name multiple times in a row. I mean, ditching home at like 10 years old and now having my family totally split apart? Wow, this paints a dismal picture of, responsible parenting. If you actually try and think about it, which is why we don't. Except when we're doing these. Running shoes. If you're gonna abandon me all alone at home at 10 years old, the least you can do is run everywhere and get in shape. Alright, this is our first Pokemon on this route. It's a Wurmple! I don't even know if we can fight this thing without killing it. So we're gonna start off by just throwing a Pokeball straight up. Awesome! We now have a Wurmple. Oh, please be. Alright. Mysterious. Ha! Alright, we're gonna call this here, guys, now that we have our first other Pokemon, and we are locked out of catching any more Pokemon in this video. I'm gonna kind of take a look here. Okay. We'll give us 1 second here. I don't really care about that. I just want a town map. Where do I get a town map in this game? I don't remember. Alright, but we're gonna figure that out next time when we continue with our Pokemon Ruby Nuzlocke. Guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hey there, guys. Did you enjoy this video? If you did, be sure to leave us a comment down below in the comments section. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe. It really means a lot to us. Thanks a lot for stopping by, and we'll see you next time.